Hello, my dear. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved ones. Um, I hope you heard the tinkling of the bells. Just listen for them. And maybe they're not actually tinkling. You're blocking a lot of stuff. You can even hear them up here with your telepathic ears. Doesn't have to be the real ones. Bob does stuff like that to me all the time. I'm trying to listen. Right now, Bob's hitting me over the head with a pool noodle. He likes to whack me with it when I'm being dumb. And Bob's been whacking you. Bob's been whacking you with that pool noodle. And it's something you can barely feel. It's more like you see it than feel it. Now Bob's standing there. I don't know what he's holding it straight up. Kind of like some kind of, yeah, I'm getting tickled all over. So watch for the tickling. Norm quit. It's crazy. So they always make my head itch, like I have head lice when they get close, because that's just the way their energy affects me, and I really wish we could quit doing that. But now it's like I'm being tickled all over. Watch for that. See, now I'm getting it here, and that's not like the head itching, like the energy. This is totally different. So it's more like a feather tickling or a hair tickling. So you're blocking a lot of this because you're still in deep grief. And how do I explain this? And I think I've probably told you before, when we're in really deep grief, we can't seem to get the signs, and we don't seem to see them, which to me is totally back-assward, because that's when we really need them. But it's like the grief blocks it out. You've got a wall up. You've got to figure out how to take that wall down. You've got huge armor on your heart. Huge armor. And I feel like a shit ton of anger coming from you. You're pissed at him. He says he totally understands that. Totally understands that. But that's part of what's blocking this. But it's almost like you have this shield around you. You know how we put our bubbles around us to protect us? You've got a shield around you somehow. It's your energy. It's a protection from being hurt, so you don't get hurt. But it's not like when we actually, sorry, it's not like the one that we put around us on purpose to protect our energy from, other people or whatever. This is, you probably don't even know it's there, but it's your protection from being hurt, to keep from being hurt. But it's also blocking stuff from him from coming in, because you're intuitive. You know about these things. Look at all the crystals in your house. You know these things. Okay, so he's showing me that he's on the front of your bubble, and it's like he's got this little bitty ice pick or something, and he's tapping. He's trying to peck away at it. He's seriously trying to peck away at this shield you have around you to get to you, and it's not working. And the more that he can't get through, the heavier and thicker your shield gets. So I don't know if I can tell you how to get rid of that. Okay, you know how to visualize. I'm sure you do. Visualize putting a little bomb on it and blowing a hole in it, or giving him enough room to get through, or just envision that you rip it off of you like a plastic balloon or something, that you strip this shield around you off. I don't think I've ever seen anybody do this, and I'm sure people do. I've just never seen it before like this. I know when I started learning this stuff, there was if we were trying to get somewhere to do something else, or something on the other side of that wall, She had us actually putting a bomb down there, blowing the wall up. She had us visualize taking it down brick by brick. So I'm giving you ideas, even though I don't see this as a brick wall, but it should work the same. We would take it down brick by brick. When I first started, I actually saw a door, and I kept telling my teacher, there's a door. It's cracked open. I can't get it to open the rest of the way. It won't open. And no matter how hard I pushed on it, it would not open. And yet I knew I was supposed to be on the other side of that door. And it was ripping my soul up because I knew I was supposed to be doing this. I knew I was supposed to be on the other side of that door, even though I didn't even know what this was at the time. So we ended up putting a sandbag there so the door couldn't shut. And I don't remember how we ended up. Finally, when it opened, Jesus was standing there. And people can poo-poo me all they want to. I know what I see. I know what I feel. And other people like me have worked with Jesus. So I knew that it was the right thing to do, and I knew I needed to go walk through that door. So somehow you got to get that sandbag in there or something. And I don't know how to compare it to a bubble. This shield you have around you. Maybe you just need to visualize the door. Maybe that's why they're reminding me of this. Somehow it's shutting, and you're shutting him out. He's on the other side of that door. And I don't even know how this happens or why this is happening other than you're doing it to yourself. Sorry, but this is something you're doing to yourself. And a lot of it's got to do with your anger about him leaving. He says pity party. Well, we all have a pity party when something like this happens. I think he's trying to sing a song. I love him. He's singing Ain't No Sunshine When She's Gone. So, see, he feels disconnected from you too because he can't get to you. And the harder you try, the worse you're making it. Jeez, I totally understand your spot. I totally get it. He's coming back behind me. You should be able to feel him standing behind you. And yet, I know he's there. I saw him go there, but yet I'm not feeling him. And I should be feeling him. You're not feeling him. Gotta figure out how to fix this. I don't know. What do you do for happy stuff? Not happy stuff. Do you sometimes have a glass of wine? Do you sometimes have a happy smoke? Something that mellows you out. I hear meditation, and I don't know that you meditate, but and I get tensed up the same way you are, and I've done the same thing with Bob, totally the same thing with Bob. Then people would come in and go, hey, Bob was talking to me, Bob says this and Bob says that, and he would reach out to me through other people because he couldn't get to me because my shield was too strong. He would make sure that he got messages through to me, and I go, but where are you? So I've been in your spot. I totally understand, and it's so frustrating, and it's so heartbreaking. Actually, Bob hasn't, other than right then, he hasn't been around much lately, so he's going to get his ass eaten out once I get off of here. So like I said, Norm's still standing back behind me. I know he's there, but I don't feel him, and you're not feeling him. That's what he's showing me. He's resting his chin on the back of my head, like just resting his chin on my head. So you should feel that on the back of your head. You should feel that pressure. Maybe you have a headache back there. Maybe he's pushing really hard. He's trying to do it almost forcefully, where if we were real people still here, it would hurt. He says you're not listening to him. He says he does a tap dance, and he says, I love you, over and over and over and over, and you're not hearing it. You're not accepting it because you haven't accepted that he left. That's what he says. You have not accepted that he left. You're still pissed off. Don't blame you. I'm not saying anything bad about that. I totally understand it. You're going to have to accept that he left. So you need a new relationship with him, and you're not allowing the new relationship because you want the old relationship, if that makes sense. So now Bob and I have a new relationship. It's different. It is different, but yet there's still that love. We just don't have the physical body. But okay, Bob says, but he can touch you. He can touch you. He can hold you. He can do those things. It's just not with these arms with skin on them. You're not accepting that. You don't want to accept that because you want him here. You don't want to fucking accept it. You've got to, if you want to hear him and feel him and all those things, you're going to have to accept this new relationship. That's what Norm's saying. Start working on the new relationship. He's saying that you want signs, but you're going, I'm not going to accept him because he's not gone. I don't want him to be gone. I'm not going to accept that. This is going to pretty much come to you fixing a few things that you don't want to fix. And I'm not sure you're ready to let go of the physical norm. But it's going to drive you crazy if you don't. Now he's standing there with his arms folded. Shit, he's so funny. Anyway, he's standing there with his arms folded, and he's tapping his right foot, like just tapping it, like very impatiently, like, what's your holdup? What's your holdup? What's your holdup? We need to work on this. What's your holdup? Do you want this to work or not? What's your holdup? But he's dressed in his, what was that costume that I saw you guys in a picture? Was it Julius Caesar or whatever that costume? He's got that on with the thing around his head. He's so funny. Love him. He says we can have a happy, fun-loving, okay, I hear you, fun-loving relationship. It's just going to be different. You've got to accept that. Are you ready? He's tickling me here. Don't go any lower, buddy. All right. All right, he wants you not when you're upset, not when you're pissed off mood, not when you've got that armor up, but when you're relaxed, drink a glass of wine, whatever it takes to mellow out. Then hold your hand out and ask him to hold your hand. I do it when I go walking by the river. I'll hold my hand out. Go, are you going to walk with me? And you will feel, I feel it right now. Feel the warmth, feel the pressure, like there's a bubble sitting there. And of course there's, you know, there's our energy that comes from our hands, but this is different. Sometimes you'll actually feel them wrap their, hold your hand, like more than just that. Hold your hand out. Ask him to hold your hand. It might take you a little while because you've got such a barrier up. Work on that first. You'll start feeling him. Then he's going to take his fingers and he's going to walk up your arm. Now, I'm not sure how that's going to feel to you because everybody feels energy different, but I think you'll kind of feel it like I do, and it'll probably feel like maybe like a bug crawling. Your arm could just start getting warm. Hair could stand up on your arm. I'm not sure how the energy will come through for you. Ask you to hold your hand, but you need to be calm and relaxed and almost in meditative mode to probably the first few times. And Bob's got my hand over here. It's starting to get hot. And when I do energy work, this is the hand that gets hot. This is the hand. This is my left hand. Bob's usually on my left. This is my hand that gets hot when I do physical energy healing. This one usually stays cold because it's receiving the energy and it comes out this hand. So I can feel Bob holding my hand. It's getting hotter and heavier. The pressure is more and more on it, and I actually feel it like through here because he's actually holding. I mean, I feel it here, but I feel it through here because he's actually holding my hand. Bob says, "Come walk with me. I'll show you the way." He's talking to me, but he's also talking to you. Ask Bob to help. Bob is freaking awesome. He's taught me most of the stuff that I know now. People thought he wasn't very smart when he was here. He's brilliant. Okay, Bob said he's willing to help. So, call on Bob, my Bob, and ask him to help with this connection. Norm is calling himself Twinkle Toes. I love him. He's got like, I wouldn't say like sparks flying out of him, but I don't know if I'm looking at his energy, like bright, sunshiny. And my hand's getting heavier, like I almost can't hold it. Now I feel it down here too. He's holding my hand. He does lots of things to help. Okay, I'm taking my hand back though. Okay, so Norm is taking, I don't know how many of those cabinets you have with the glass on the front that has crystals and stuff, things like that in it, but he's shaking it. He's literally shaking the shit out of it. So you're either going to hear it rattle, things might get moved. If there's something on top of it, something might fall off of it, or something might fall over inside of it, or so I know I've seen one like that, so I don't know how many more you might have. He's going around and show me again. It's like he's pushing things. He's pushing things like, I know you have all kinds of hang me down things and chimes and different projects that you work on. And you are so artistic. I wish I had the patience to do some of that stuff. Right now, I don't have time to even think about it. I'm so freaking busy. But it's like he's pushing things. So he's pushing the chimes inside your house. You should hear them when there's no breeze in there. He's pushing things. So things maybe on your work desk. It looks like the same room as where that cabinet was, or maybe just next to it. So maybe this is a room where you do your crafts because it looks like there's stuff sitting around and he's pushing them. So watch for things to be moved. Watch for things to be out of place or something maybe to fall off on the floor but he's still showing me like the chimes you sent me. So if you have some like that inside your house, even though the ones he showed the other day were outside your house, or he might just be showing me that because it's chimes that you made. So it might just be any chime inside your house. I don't know that for sure, whether he's just relating it to something that I have that you gave me. And I love them. They're on my deck where I can see them right outside my kitchen window. Up high where they're covered so the weather can't get to them. Absolutely love them. So you're not accepting that those things are happening. He's right there. He has not gone anywhere. See, I don't know if you're blocking this out too. You should have felt him on the bed. You should have felt the bed like somebody sat on it, laid on it, pushed down on it, like the weight of a body. Feel that energy there. You're just not open to it for all the above reasons. He says, change your stinking thinking and let me in. Are we singing a song? It's about hold me, hug me. Hug me. You're gonna have to give me more of the song because I know the song, but I can't. Hold me, hug me, never let me go. Hold me, hug me. Let me see. Hold me, hug me, never let me go. That's a verse in a song. Well, Alexa can't seem to come up with the right song with those by just using those words. I know it's a song that I know, and I'm going to say it's not a recent song. Hug me, never let me go. Could be. It doesn't feel like it's a far back one like they usually give me. Okay. So he's marching around your house, and he's marching like actually pulling his knees up, kind of like the Hitler march. And so he's making great efforts, so you hear his footsteps. Even though they show me that they're making great effort, that doesn't always mean that it comes out loud. It just means that they're trying very hard. He's trying all kinds of things for you to know he's there. You're going to have to let him in. And you can poo-poo me all you want to, but that's what he's showing me. He says, never let me go. Never let me go. He says, you're hard-headed. Love you over the top to the moon and back. Stop being so pissed off at me. You know how this works. When it's your time, it's your time. Stop being so pissed off at me. He's talking about a cat. Cat. I don't know if you have a cat. I don't remember you saying you have a cat, but I can't remember everybody's everything. Well, now, I've never seen it, but he tells me he comes up and moves the owl. I've never seen the owl wiggle, but I'm usually not paying attention to it. I'm usually got my back to it, so he tells me he comes up and makes him wiggle a little bit. So, do you have an owl like that? Do you have one too? If you do, watch for it to wiggle. He says you're trying too hard. You're trying too hard. That's blocking, and it will block things out when you try too hard. You got to let it. Oh, surrender. I've got this written on a sticky note on my computer. He said, Rhonda, surrender. So she needs to surrender. You need to surrender to it. Trust him. Hang on, he's drawing me to another song. Okay, so he picked out a song that Bob plays for me all the time. It's called Got What I Got by Jason Aldean. So go YouTube it. He's singing that to you right now as you're listening to this. It's well, if I had any hair on my legs, if I hadn't shaved it, I had goosebumps all the way down my legs when I started playing it. But like I said, it's an emotional song for me because Bob plays it for me all the time. He says, I love you, baby. Let me come in. And once again, he's showing like he's on the front of this bubble, knocking. He's knocking on it. You're not wanting to accept that he's there in that form instead of next to you in this form. He says, let's move forward. You can't hear me. You plugged your ears up. You can't hear me. Actually, this kind of relationship is really pretty cool. It is pretty cool. It's not what we want, but it is pretty cool. So you can't have that. Go for this. I love it. I love my Bob. He'd do anything for me, as Norm will do for you. And he says, but you have to let me in. He says, you're not going to like what he's saying right now, what I'm saying right now. He says, you're not going to like it because it's not what you want. He says, but I love you. And I see you hurting. Now let me in so I can comfort you. Oh, and he's making me feel your rage. Just feeling your rage building up as he says that. He says she's going, it's not my fault, it's not my fault, it's not my fault. It isn't, and yet it is, but I think it's more probably happened on a subconscious level than you actually doing it on purpose. You're not doing it on purpose. You just got to figure out how to fix it. You just need to be aware of it. He said he wants you to be aware of it so you can face it and bust it loose, handle it. He says, make it happen. I love you. He's showing himself, and I'm guessing he's in Mexico, standing on a beach. There's ocean behind him. There's one, I see one chair. There might be more. He's got a foo-foo drink with an umbrella in it in his hand. And he's got a wild, like Hawaiian shirt on, like crazy bright colors all over, like leaves or something. Leaves or, it looks like leaves, like palm leaves or something, all over it. And shorts on. And he looks so cute. And he's got the ocean behind him. And he says, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for you. All by myself, I'm waiting for you. Not your time. I'll be there when it's time. It's not your time. It's not your time. It's not your time. It's not your time. He keeps saying that. But he says, remember that feeling when we were on the beach. That's what you need to get to let him in. It's harder than shit. It is. It took me, oh, good Lord. See, I was a drunken mess for 2 years. Totally crazy drunken mess. He says don't take that long. I don't remember how long Norm's been gone. I know it's been a little while. Okay, he's showing me something that I used to do. You can visualize it or you can physically do it. Go get a couple of lawn chairs. Sit down. Invite him to sit next to you. Actually, my very first meditation that I did, and of course I had to do it 3, 4, 5 times because when I first learned how to meditate, and we walked through this garden and there was a bench there and you're supposed to sit down and ask your angel to join you. I'm like, okay, this sounds cool. And I'm doing this guided meditation from one of my really good friends who's a medium that lives not too an hour from here. Ooh, I need to get hold of her. Sorry, got interrupted. Anyway, you go and you sit on this bench, you ask for your angel. So it took a few times. So, and you can do the same thing with the lawn chairs because Bob likes fishing. So we would meet on a fishing bank with lawn chairs and fishing poles. And I never got the first person that walked up was Bob, and he sat down. So I asked my medium friend, I said, "What's?" I said, "I'm making shit up." She goes, "No, you're not. He wanted to mess with you." So he showed up. So try it. But you've got to be relaxed for it to work. You've got to do the meditation breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, at least 3 or 4 times, really slow. And then it may take several times. He'll join you. I promise. So much love to you, my dear. Sorry this took a little while. I'm always booked up for a week or so, and my son's getting married next weekend, and I'm taking my grandson, who we have custody of, and he's going off to college, and I'm trying to get all of his stuff together and get everything lined up. So yeah, I've been super busy, and we think my dog might be dying. So just got things going like crazy. So sorry, but I am usually booked up for a little bit. Much love to you, my dear. Love you, love you, love you more than you know. See you later. Just trust that he's there. Whether you can feel it or not, you'll get it. Just start trusting it, believing in it. That'll help probably more than anything. Love you.